Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Yo, Salaam nerds! It's your boy Neebs, aka Watch with Neebs, and I'm here with my co-host Jazz, aka the Jazzosaur.
The Jazzosaur.
You like that, right?
The Mythosaur. Oh, yeah,
The
that was so
Mythosaur.
beautiful.
Oh, man, that's going to be fun. Listen, Jazz, today is not about you. Today is International Women's Day, and we are going to celebrate two badass women. One, Bo-Katan, who we're going to talk about in depth. Next, we have our auntie Tia. Tia, welcome to the podcast. How are
Hi,
you?
guys. I'm doing great. How are you guys doing? Hope everybody's good. Thank you for having me again.
We
Of
missed
course.
you. We missed
Aw,
you. You're
you guys
our
too.
resident Star Wars expert, man. We love you.
After me. but
You guys. Yeah.
Yeah. How you been? Tell us a little about your What's going on? How's life?
Everything is good. Same old, trying to keep warm in this New Year crazy weather, as always.
Okay, everything is awesome.
Yes, it is.
I like the nose ring. That looks really cool.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know if I noticed that. That new or I just never noticed.
No, I'm like having since like 17, but I always change it. That's why it's always.
Oh,
different, so.
gotcha. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us because we're gonna have a fun episode today because we're talking about Mandalorian episode 3. So this one is going to be
Episode
a lot
2.
of fun. Oh, episode 2.
Season
Episode
3.
2. Season 3,
2.
episode 2. Thank you, Jazz. Look at you, paying attention as always.
Not gonna let you get away with anything.
I know Jazz doesn't let me get away with anything, except when we're talking about the bastard. Then Jazz just Oh man, this is gonna be good. I am loving this show so far. Can you believe people were like complaining about the first episode? Be like, guys, give it a break, man. Just like, why can't you guys just wait for them to set stuff up, right? They want the action and everything immediately. Guys, let the story be told how it's meant to be told. It's crazy.
I mean, it was setting up the tone and giving us, okay, this is what the season is going to be about. This is what we're going to be doing. This is the adventures that we're going to go in, like, and then giving us the silly moments, the comedic moments and stuff. Like, this is Star Wars. Why don't you appreciate that?
I know. You know what it is, man? People don't appreciate Star Wars until there's a new Star Wars that comes out and they hate on that and they talk about how great this was.
Such a vicious cycle, I swear. Oh my God.
Yeah,
I mean, at this point, I'm gonna tell everyone who's complaining about Star Wars, just go watch it on TikTok. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Like, just watch the highlights on TikTok. You clearly do not care about the world building, the story building. Just go watch the action on TikTok. Problem solved.
Go watch the cameo, then call
the edits. That's it. Just go watch the edits. You're good.
Right? Go watch the reels where it's like half the episode and the bottom half is like somebody cooking a cake or something.
Yes.
No, what is up with that? Every TikTok is like half like Subway Surfer or someone building a cake. Like, it's so weird.
Yeah.
That's what I've been seeing there lately too. I'm like, okay, what's the point of this?
It's a distraction because your brain's like, let me listen in while watching this other thing. And so more people just stay engaged because of
tactic. Yes.
It's really stupid and everybody keeps falling for it.
And
so whenever I see it, I'm like,
I'm like,
ignore, block, see less.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to see this.
No, it's smart. Like, come for the Star Wars, wait for the cake.
We got cookies on the dark side.
I know. All right. Well, speaking of edits,
good cookies.
Speaking of edits, how about the edits of Daddy, aka Pedro Pascal? Man is killing it, man.
See, that I can never get tired of. I could stand TikTok just watching.
Fair. Oh man. So let's start talking about the episode, man. This episode was pretty good. I was enjoying it. So Mando stars in this episode called The Mines of Mandalore. So I'm like, oh shit, they're doing this already? I thought he was gonna go on a few more escapades before he goes to Mandalore. Second episode, they just dropped us into Mandalore, and I'm like, oh crap, this is what they're doing.
I love it.
Yep.
I thought he was gonna. I thought this episode was gonna be like him trying to go get the circuit board or whatever for SP11.
Yeah,
that was the first. That's why when the first episode happened, I was like, oh well, there goes his first side mission.
Yes,
trying to go get it. But immediately the first episode, okay, boom, we resolved the droid issue. Yeah, he got one, and then bam, straight into the mines. I'm like, all right, we're going there.
Yeah, like we thought we knew what was gonna happen. They're like, psych.
Yeah. Instead, we have a non-canon Jedi added into the whole thing, and
Well,
this just blows my mind because I don't know if like y'all know this, but R5 in a one random comic, right? I can't even remember what it was. It's not canon by any means, but in this comic, R5's a Jedi.
No way! I didn't know that. That is so funny.
Listen, I love that he is a android with a lot of anxiety. He's like, no, I don't want to go.
I was like, oh my god, I can relate to him. He's just like 3PO. Nerves.
All right. You know what's really interesting? They introduced a holiday. It's called Bunta
Eve. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never heard that before. Is that somewhere from somewhere else, or is this brand new for this?
No. I've heard that before.
You have? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think
Tatooine. That's a Tatooine thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's like Banta Eve, and I was just like, oh, that's cool. I like how they had the mechanics steal the parts and then sell it back to the guy.
Joe. I was like, Pelly is such a scammer. I love it.
She's so good. She's so good. But like, awesome. I love the way that like she treats Mando so differently. She was like, it's you. Yay. How's everything working? She gives them all the good parts. And then she's like, but wait, where's my little guy? Where's my little guy?
Where's the baby?
She loves
mom
Grogu.
Instinct. The mom instinct kicking in.
Absolutely.
It's like, oh, you're a single dad? Okay, I'm gonna do whatever I can to help you out. I love you.
I like where she goes like, was that his first word? Did he say my name?
She was so proud. She's like, oh my god.
Oh my god, it's so funny. I really, really liked it. And then basically, she sells him the droid. He doesn't really want it. He wants to go on a side mission and get the one droid that he actually respects and he actually likes. Yeah. But it looks like that's not going to happen. So it's so interesting for that side mission to be like, well, nothing came out of that. So I think that's really interesting where they just kind of just flipped it on us. I don't know if they'll ever go back to that story or what, but it was really interesting to see him just be like, okay, set him up in the ship and we're ready to go.
Yeah.
And part of me was sad. I was like, oh no, Grogu's little seat is being compromised.
That's a different seat though, isn't it?
I don't know.
That's the thing where
okay.
Where Grogu was sitting,
Yeah, poor Grogu. I know. But I love the way he's teaching Grogu everything. He goes like, you have to be able to navigate. And then when he goes to Mandalore, he goes, that's our world. He didn't say that's my world. That's the Mandalorian's world. He says that's our world.
That's our home world. Yeah, he said. I was like,
man.
Oh my god.
He's one of us. He's one of us.
And I didn't know that Mando was from Concordia.
Yeah, Concordia.
That surprised me too.
Yeah, because it wasn't mentioned or brought up in any of the other seasons, right?
No, it wasn't. No,
like he's actual Mandalorian.
Yeah. Like I thought he was just like some random orphan they found.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
he is. And I think that was really, really interesting. And then they talk about like, this is where we met Bo-Katan, this is where I was born, and this is where the planet was. And then they're just like teaching him all these things, and like Grogu learns. Like he's listening. He can't talk, but he listens.
Oh yeah,
right?
he's like very perceptive, I mean,
yeah, he's very perceptive, which is interesting. And but Grogu, he has a bad feeling about this, and I feel like it's one of those Star Wars thing where like everyone says like, I have a bad feeling about this, and like he was muttering something.
Force.
I know it's the Force. He had a bad feeling.
In the Force.
Yeah, definitely. So they go there, and they go into the cave. Then they send R5 in there first for atmosphere. Turns out you can breathe. So he's like, whoa. And this is great for plot. And this is great for the Mandalorians.
Yes.
So awesome. I was like, that's great. And then they go into the cave. They find a huge city. And then there's giant mutants there. And they're just like fighting each other. And then he brings out the Darksaber and he fights them. Man, struggling with the Darksaber though. He's still struggling.
That thing is still heavy on him.
Yep. And they're called Alamites, which is like, really interesting. And they were at the outskirts of the city.
The outskirts in the swamps, yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, if they survive, what else could have survived? And I thought that was really, really interesting. So Tia, tell us, what are your thoughts about, the whole them going up to Mandalore, finding Mandalore, being able to breathe, and then fighting the aliens? Up to that, what were your thoughts?
No, I just love that because we're still getting so much more like Mandalorian lore and history, and I love that. we're learning so much more. And then I think we all kind of knew that that's what the season was going to be about. It was just going to be all Mandalorian based. And I love that we're getting, all of this immediately. Like we don't have to wait on all this information. I love that, Din is treating Grogu exactly like a father figure, which he has been doing, and teaching him the ways, and making sure that he's preparing him, as a Mandalorian. I love that he was wearing his little chainmail under his little costume. It was adorable. And again, interesting. Now we got new creatures, new creatures that we're being introduced to. That's also cool. And I love it that it's I'm a huge practical effects fan person. So
Same.
the costuming in this season already, in 2 episodes in, and they've been amazing. Like the first episode with the pirates and the captain, Swamp Thing captain and everything was so awesome. And then now with these new creatures, and we see this like alligator looking animals too, right? Like there was in the background and stuff.
With the
So
green
it was
eyes.
yeah, exactly. So it's really, really cool that we're getting all this new stuff.
Yeah, the animatronics and everything reminded me of like the Jim Henson days where like he would have all these parts, and I got that vibe again, and it was really, really cool.
Yeah.
And I like what you brought up about Grogu and how he's treating Grogu, because I think like in the beginning when he first met Grogu, he was treating Grogu as this like random baby he felt sad for, and then in part 2 he was kind of treating it like almost like a pet that he had to like return to its rightful owner. But now he actually thinks of it as his son, right? And you really see that, and you really feel that in all the episodes, and I really, really like that. Also, shout out to Grogu just hanging out in his stroller, like
I know he's just chilling. He's like, I'm using I'm able to be a little badass even in my little stroller. So
I love his little stroller, it just flies everywhere. I
the
thought
reason,
that was really good.
Jin actually feels that way about Grogu is because Grogu chose to be Mandalorian.
Yes, that is true.
Right. So he's not like, oh, you're my son. Like, no, you are a true Mandalorian. This is the way you chose this path.
Yep. Yep, absolutely.
Very significant.
No, it's very, very cool. And he gave up training with Luke and learning about Yoda and all that stuff, right? So he didn't get to learn about his kind.
Yeah. And you could see how Mando also now is like he's not just being super overprotective with him.
Yeah.
He's giving him more leeway, like, okay, do this and do that, and not as scared as he was in the first seasons and stuff.
You're
now
right.
He's like, all right, we got to push you now. We got to make you do stuff.
Yeah,
because what we saw when he sent him to go look for Bo-Katan.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't hesitate. He's like, go find Bo-Katan. And even when they were downstairs, like he was kind of slowing in his stroller, and he'd like, come on, and he'd like, come on, catch up.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting. The other thing that I like that he explains everything to Grogu, and Grogu just happens to like understand it. He's like he's not even like hesitating. He doesn't explain to him like a baby. He explains it to him like he would anyone else, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
No, that was really, really cool. But then Grogu leaves, and then we see this like contraption, this like almost like General Grievous looking kind of like.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. It was like part droid, part something. Like the only thing he had was an eye, really, right?
Yeah.
And that's the only part that was organic. Everything else was like a robot. And it definitely reminded me of General Grievous. And then the Mandalorian gets caught and outsmarted by this person and got his ass kicked. Basically, he turns into like a fire pit. And they're just and they're taking his blood, which I think is really interesting. I don't know if that's going to come back, because why were they taking his blood? What was that for? I'm very curious to see what that's all about. And then Grogu goes and finds Bo-Katan, and Bo-Katan was not happy to see his ship. She was like, this motherfucker again? What the hell? How many times they gotta tell him? Like, I'm going to put him down once and for all. And then she gets there and she's like, oh crap, it's just Grogu.
It's like, never mind.
Like, download the stuff, find out where he is. And part of me was like, does she want to help him? Or she's like, that motherfucker got the sword. I gotta go get that sword. Right? Like, what are your thoughts? You think she did it to save him? Or did she really go like, if he's dead, I need to go find that sword?
No, I think she has a thing, I guess, because I think after, we kind of see it when she starts talking about how she lost her father when she was young.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe she saw the same thing with Grogu. Like she felt for Grogu. Like okay, I can't have this little kid lose his father, you know, like I need to go help him out and
Mm.
stuff. But of course, there's always gonna be some. There could be some second intention with her as well. You know, obviously, it's to her best interest of, okay, well, if Din's gonna die, I can't let the dark saber, you know, get lost
Yeah.
again. Of course.
I love how
So
Bo is
probably
just.
goes
I
both.
love how
Yeah.
Bo is always casually sitting on her throne, no matter what's happening. She's just chilling on that throne.
She's like, let me wallow in
That
this beautiful,
that's her
in
safe
this
space.
beautiful throne.
She just like she has anxiety. She just goes and like sits on that throne.
Yes.
Oh man, I thought that was really really funny.
Mhm.
Also, we got to see Grogu use the Force.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Mhm.
Like we see him now being a little bit more assertive, you know, sure of himself. Like as soon
Yeah,
as he told him like go find Bo, he just left. He didn't hesitate. He didn't
yeah,
nothing. He saw the thing. He was like immediately he knew to use the force. So like, yo, get out of my way. I gotta go save my father. So
exactly.
and he got into that and into the into the ship and navigate. And I was like, oh my god, Grogu's gonna fly
He did a
for the
flip
first
into the
time.
ship like Yoda used
Yes,
to do.
yes. I was like, yo,
Mhm.
he mastered a freaking force jump. That's
Yes,
awesome.
I love that. I love that. Oh man, yeah, I love that he used the stroller to get away.
Of
All of this
course.
while
he,
still
he
in his
just
stroller.
zipped down in his little stroller.
Mhm.
Love it, love it. And then he was even getting attacked by those like flying alligators, the pterodactyl
Yeah.
alligators.
Oh my god. I was like, poor R5. I was like, no, you can't do this to R5 right now. We can't lose him
Yeah.
already.
Yeah, the
Oh
Almex.
man. And then, but I do love the fact when like she's like downloads Bo-Katan downloads all the information, and she's like, oh shit, he's in Mandalore. So she goes there. You can see her like visibly smiling when she sees like the actual land, even though she doesn't 100% believe that it's, okay or everything's
Mhm.
ruined. She still smiles to see it. You can see it in her face. And then she tells
Yeah, you
Grogu,
could.
like,
Yeah.
this used to be a beautiful place, and she's like having conversations with them. And Grogu's still a little frightened. He's like, I'm a little worried about going back there, you know? And then she tells him, like, Jedis and Mandalorians used to be partners,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
like you get throwbacks to when she met Ahsoka,
Ahsoka.
right?
Yeah.
And he also met Ahsoka, so they don't know they're talking about the same person, which I thought
Mhm.
was really really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Little do they know.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
And then
so funny seeing it. Like, oh yeah, like she has no idea this kid's a Jedi, and she's
I
talking
know.
about Jedi so casually.
It's okay still. And she's like, well, it looks like your force has to be good since you were able to get back here and find us.
Mhm.
So she's like, kind of proud of him. She's like, all right, cool. And then she also talks
Mhm.
about her family, her dad. And then when she talks about her family, you can't think of like not Duchess Justine, and you're just like, oh man, give us a
I
flashback,
was
give us something.
waiting for her to at least drop her name. Like, why couldn't you just say, "Oh, Satine"?
I know.
Especially when she was talking to Mendo about, "Oh yeah, I'm actually royalty. You know, my family
Yeah.
actually used to rule." I'm like, say the name, say
Say
her
it, say
name.
it, say it, say it. Oh man, that was really cool. And then she also, runs into those Alamites, and
Mhm.
she took them down super easily. She was like, once she got that, she took them down super easily. And then when the fighter thing came up, she took the dark saber and she was just
Nothing.
she was wrecking it.
Easy work
What
for Bo-Katan. Yo, the way she wielded that darksaber,
what a gift
beautiful.
to the Star Wars fans on International Women's Day.
That's
That
exactly
love
what
it.
I said when I was like, "Yo, happy International Women's Day." Today was the day for this episode.
Yo, love it.
She was
Love it.
such a
That was
badass.
so
Oh
good.
my gosh.
Amazing.
Yes.
She wrecked them. Oh my god, that was so cool. And then we also get to learn that like she also took the creed, right? She also did all that stuff. She was like,
Mhm.
I wanted to make people happy. Sure, I took the creed. I did all that stuff. I made myself believable. But then she also knew that like the planet was dying from the inside. So it's one of
Mhm.
those things where she was like, I was this person. I used to believe in this high creed of Mandalore. So I don't know. It's pretty interesting to see what's going to happen now. But she offers to take him back, and he's
Mhm.
like, "No, I gotta finish. I gotta go take my bath." Man's got
She was
him.
even trying to teach him a little bit more history from the little plaque that she was reading. He was like, "All right,
Yeah,
no. I gotta get in this water right now."
I gotta get into this water, man. I gotta, I gotta take my bath.
Yes.
Uh, That's all he cares about. He wants to be back with his people, which makes it very understandable. But she said she ruled for a brief time. She was giving him so much background,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought that was really really cool. And she said it was hard seeing our own kind fight amongst each other, and that's how Mandalore fell. It didn't
Mm-hmm.
fall because of some outside threat. It fell because the Mandalorians were fighting each other. And I feel like that's
Mhm.
very interesting because that happens here in a lot of
Yeah.
places, when
Yeah.
countries have people where they fight each other amongst
Mm-hmm.
themselves,
Yeah.
divide and conquer. That's how people get in. And I thought that was really, really interesting.
That's how Palpatine was able to defeat them so easily when he came to Mandalore, because everybody was
Yeah,
doing their own thing. Nobody was united against it. And then once they finally decided to get together, it was already too late. Like,
right? The best way to defeat the greatest warriors in the world is to turn them against each other.
mm-hmm.
Right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. And she talks a little bit about her father died defending Mandalore, so we get to learn about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then she talks a little bit about the Mandalore Great Skull and the sigil and what it has. And
I like
she
how
ta-
it was brought up, like just
I know,
casually,
just
talking about the
casually brought that
sigil
up,
and
right?
the myth with the mythosaur and
And then
stuff.
she talks about the mythosaur. So apparently there was Mandalore, who was the first Mandalorian who
Mm-hmm.
defeated this mytholore, and that's where they get their insignia and all that stuff from. And he was the head honcho, and he did this. And as she was doing this, Mandalore starts to go into the water. He starts taking the creed, and he kind of just falls in. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe there's a little bit of a deep spot. But no, he just went
No,
whoosh
it
all the
was
way in.
deep. Like,
It
but
was
I'm like,
deep.
Mando, you're going in and not even assessing the situation before you keep going,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
have full armor on. Like, you're heavy as fuck
Beskar
right
armor.
now. Hello, like, sir.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
man. That
no, but
that
I
dude
thought it was like
sank
maybe
so quick.
something dragged them. But then when I saw how deep that was, I was like, wow.
Yeah, yeah. He sank like a rock.
No other word for it.
No other word for it. And but the thing is, Bo-Katan did not hesitate. She jumped right right into it afterwards. Her rocket was on. She went all the way down.
Mhm.
She had to go down deep to get
Yeah.
him. He was knocked out. And then as she's coming up, she sees it. She sees the mythosaur.
The
And
eye.
they lock eyes, and they're like, okay.
Yo, you can even with the helmet on, you could just
Yeah.
feel Bo-Katan's expression, like
Yo,
of just like shock.
I know.
Oh my god,
It was
it was
wild.
so good.
That
So-
slow head turn, like
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it happened so fast, and you're like, wait, was that the mythosaur? Was that something else? Was that an octopus? Was that a squid? Like, what is that?
It
Oh
was
my
so
god.
because as soon as I saw the little tooth thing, I was like,
Yeah.
no
Yep.
way. I was like, oh my god. So I think maybe now, because you know how she's always been like, oh, all these the myths and she's never been into any of that. But now
Yeah.
that she sees the mythosaur, in the like, do you think that maybe she's gonna be like, well, maybe there is some type of truth behind all of these legends that I've always heard growing up and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Or she might be going the other way and saying, well, you know what? Here is a way for me not to get the dark saber and still have the people respect me by killing
yeah.
the mythosaur.
Oh no,
right?
she's definitely she definitely is gonna use that to her advantage. But I don't know
Yeah.
if it in a way of, but I think that's also gonna, because she was paying a lot of attention to what Din was doing when he was
Yeah.
doing his creed, like when he was doing his ritual and stuff.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
she was like kind of interest. She was like, she looked very interested in it. So now she probably, of course, she's gonna see the Mythosaur as a way also to another way to unite the people. Like,
Yeah.
look, this is real. It's real. Like we have our our spirit animal, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
That's what he is. That's why that's their sigil and stuff. It's like, oh, this is a sign. Amongst our world is supposed to be dead. Everything is supposed to be gone, and here is our mythical creature that represents us, and he's here. So if he
Mhm.
can endure and he can survive, so can we. Type of mentality.
Mhm.
Yeah. I totally agree. I think that's a great way to put it. I wonder what it was that made the mythosaur came back. Was it just like, how they say like nature is healing once mankind is not here? It's like one of
Yeah,
those situations.
probably. Or maybe he was always there, like they say the
Yeah,
Loch Ness monster has always been there. But
yeah,
it's so deep down in those, and I'm pretty sure maybe nobody has ever gone that deep into the waters, because that shit
yeah.
is deep. Maybe it was there the whole time. It was just hiding or something,
We don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have no idea. But it was really really cool to see.
Yeah.
And like, so is the Mandalorian atoned? Is he fully atoned now? Is that what's
It
happening? Can he go
has
back
to
with his creed?
be. Yeah, it
How
has to. All he had to do was take the creed in the waters, right? So
how did he prove
Mhm.
that? Did he take a selfie?
maybe do they have recording thingies in their helmets or
They
in their
might.
armor and stuff?
I feel like they do, but I'm not sure. I don't remember seeing the Mandalore
I
ever do
mean,
it, but I have seen other people do it.
Yeah.
Bo-Katan's a witness.
That is true.
Well, armor is not, does not gonna care what Bo-Katan has to say, but
Yeah,
She
she'll
is
be like, "You
also an
heathen!
apostate.
You are a
yeah,
heathen."
I know. It's just an apostate, being a witness for another apostate. It's not how it works. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's gonna be interesting. What's gonna what is is gonna be their next move now that
Unless
they
they
know
take
that the
that
scripture's
plaque, the
there?
plaque with the writing on it. If he takes that, that would be a
Right.
good way.
That could also be a good way for him to show. Or he'd be like, "Yo, the 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 planet is breathable. It's
Yeah,
fine.
that
Let's
is
all
true.
come. Let's all come. I can
Also, he
show
also
you."
Mhm.
although he can describe what it looks like, I guess, and so
Yeah.
that's what it
But
is,
because
right?
even she still didn't believe him when he brought the little piece
Yeah,
of the glass, she still was like, "Nah, it's no good."
no good, right?
Yeah.
I don't
But now
know.
he could be like, "Listen, let's go. I can show you that that everything is good and we could actually go to the planet. No problem."
It's so wild this already happened in season 2. He atoned, he got his bath. I'm like, I thought this was going to be like the finale. This
Yeah.
happened in episode 2. This is like,
So I
so
can imagine what else is gonna come. Like what's gonna be what else what is gonna be the next big thing that they're gonna have to go like fight against or whatever. Like what do you
yeah.
think could be? Because I think we haven't seen the like in the trailers and stuff, we already
Mhm.
seen basically everything in these first 2 episodes from what
Yeah,
they showed us in the
exactly.
trailer. So
It's blowing me away, and I love that. I love not knowing what's going on, right? Because we don't
Mhm.
have. There's no Grogu storyline. Like he doesn't have to go
no.
back to the Jedi. He got his atonement, and the only thing that's left is to take back Mandalore. But Mandalore is like basically there's no one to take it back from. It's empty, so you can just go back, kill the mutants, and you're good to go. So I don't know where the conflict is. It's like wild. They're just hiding it from us, and that's the
Yeah.
best thing. We're gonna be surprised.
Yeah, it's gonna be told because I don't know. The fighting to get the factions back together, they're gonna get back together, but then if they do, what are they gonna go fight? Like what's the common enemy, you know?
Right. You can't get
Yeah.
the factions together unless they have a common enemy. And the
Hmm.
Empire is gone in
Yeah.
this timeline, right? So what do they have? Like they're not fighting against the Jedis, they're not fighting against the rebels. It's
Hmm.
just they're just scattered amongst the stars.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I don't
wonder what's
know.
gonna be. That's crazy. We don't have it. There's no indication of what it is at all.
It's bizarre. I've never
It's
seen a
so
show
crazy.
like give us like everything we wanted in like the first 2
Yeah, because
episodes.
in this first season, it was Grogu and the mission was Grogu, right? We knew
Yes.
that.
Yep.
First episode, we knew okay, the whole season is gonna be about this little kid and
Yep.
him protecting it and all that stuff. Second season, it was about getting Grogu to his people, to the Jedi.
Jedis. Yep.
That was a mission. Third season, like you said, first episode, we thought that the mission was gonna be about him going to atone himself and stuff, and it already happened. So
Well,
now what?
here's the thing. There were a lot of plot lines that never got answered in season 2, mostly about Moff Gideon and also
Mhm.
about the clones.
Yes.
Do
Yeah.
you think we're gonna revisit that?
We're
Probably.
gonna revisit a lot of things, man.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like, I think they're setting up like, obviously, it's gonna tie into Ahsoka. It's gonna tie in, who was that character that Emilia Clarke played? I have a
Oh,
feeling we're gonna see.
Kira?
Yeah, we're gonna see
Oh
her
yeah.
again. Like, I have a feeling they're gonna tie up all these things and like create a beautiful story that leads into. And I don't know if they're gonna retcon the new trilogy, but we'll see. Like,
No, I don't think it
No,
has any
no.
plans
All
for
of this is lead. John Favreau said, I think the other
Okay.
day that it's all basically
gonna
gonna
tie in.
lead into the Force Awakens. Yeah.
Okay.
which makes sense to me because the biggest like cop out is always like Poe coming in and being like, somehow Palpatine returned. He just like does that, right? And I feel like this show has an opportunity to go into detail and be like, Yoda's blood was used to make a clone.
But see, now I'm gonna just deviate a little bit. This is also being explored in the Bad Batch.
Oh, so I haven't caught up on the Bad Batch yet, so I
Yeah.
did not know that. But that
Yeah.
makes a lot of
Well-
sense because the clones are already.
And even in more detail, like even like the beginning of what it was that Palpatine wanted to do with the cloning, it's starting right there with the Bad Batch.
Mm.
From the
Right.
beginning.
For the record, Bad Batch happened after Revenge of the Sith and before
Mhm.
the initial trilogy. So
Mm-hmm.
Right, but where's
Get everything,
Mandalorian?
yeah.
Mandalorian is right there in the middle too.
It's after
after Empire or after
5
Return of the
years.
Jedi.
5 years after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Bad
is that
Batch is happening right after Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, Revenge of the
Right.
Sith. Okay, yeah, that's
Mhm.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. I always mix the two up because Return of the Jedi was supposed to be called Revenge of the Jedi. And then they
Yeah.
switched it. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. So
You could actually flip all the names of the Star Wars movies to better represent them.
yeah, there was a TikTok. Like the Phantom Menace should have been the Rise of the Skywalker because what's the name was the Phantom Menace? Palpatine.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And then like, oh my God, what was the other one? The Empire Strikes Back should actually be Force Awakens because that's when the Empire shook back. They took back everything, right? And A New Hope should have been Force Awakens because that's when they get A New Hope. Like it's all there, right? Oh my God, it's wild. It's
Yeah.
wild.
It also just shows you how generic these stories are.
I guess. Oh my God, that was. I remember somebody made a TikTok about that, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Whoa,
I
that makes so
remember
much
that.
more sense."
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh man, so that's really cool. So yeah, we don't have any idea where the Mandalorian is going because there's so much stuff going on. This episode, Super Grogu's just so cute, man. He doesn't need to do anything, and it's just so cute. Like last episode, he was just spinning in a chair, and I'm like, "Oh."
And you see him flying, his little ears flapping in the wind.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
know. Oh
it's
my
so
God, I
cute."
love when his little ears are moving. Like when he's sad or scared, they go down. When he's excited or like
Yeah.
preppy, he's like his ears are all up and stuff. So cute.
He's
But I like that
he's babbling a lot more too.
Yeah,
now.
that's what I'm saying. He is. He looks a little bit more grown. Like he's acting a little bit more grown now.
Yeah.
You know, he's not acting just like a little baby like when we first saw him in the first season. Like you could tell that some time has passed.
Yeah.
That he's becoming a little bit more open, I guess, not as into himself. Yeah, which is understandable because everything that he had gone through, he's basically the whole time been by himself. Of course, he's gonna be scared the whole time,
Yeah.
Mhm.
So now he's like being a little bit more sure of himself and like, okay, now I can express myself more.
It's really interesting because he was like acting more like a baby in the earlier seasons, and now he's acting more like a toddler, I guess. Where he he goes around, he does things, he understands when you tell him to bring this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're ever going to get to see Grogu talk.
I'm
for sure.
we will.
Yeah?
I already they gave us that little taste with
I know they gave us a little taste, but like I wonder if he's going to talk like a toddler, and then he's going to have like full sentences, and like I don't know. I wonder how far we're going to go.
Definitely talk like Yoda.
Oh, you think he's going to talk like Yoda?
For sure.
Because not everybody.
No, because Yaddle didn't.
Yaddle didn't
talk. Yaddle talked normal. So maybe I heard somewhere that was just a Yoda thing. That it was just something with him that.
Yeah, they're gonna do it for the boomers just to get them back into it. Just watch.
Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. I don't know. That'd be really, really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect next, but this has been a really good episode. They're just short though. They're just so short. That's the only issue. Like I think like the first episode was only like 37 minutes, including credits. That's wild.
This
And
one
this
was,
one was
like 8 minutes longer or something like that.
Yeah, that was it.
I don't know.
It wasn't that much longer.
But it gave us everything we needed. It gave us everything we
Yeah.
needed in this episode. So that was
Mhm.
really, really cool.
And enough to talk about for a week just to keep the hype going.
Yeah. I just wish I knew where they were going because now I'm excited. Like I'm super excited. And
Well, it's gonna be a civil war.
you think that's gonna happen? A bunch of clans are gonna come and try to take Mandalore, and they're gonna fight each other.
Yes.
Oh,
And they're all
that's
gonna go
awesome.
after the dark
Oh,
saber.
well, okay. I can see that because now that everybody's gonna know that Mandalore is actually good to
Yeah.
go, like they can actually go to the planet. They're gonna be like, okay, so who's taking over the planet now?
All the factions are gonna descend on Mandalore,
Mhm.
and this internal conflict is gonna keep happening.
And
then
they're
there'll be
gonna,
some external
yeah.
threat, and guess what? Who has the
Now
dark
they're gonna-
saber?
But then I'm pretty sure that they're gonna challenge him for the dark saber as well.
They all will. Yes.
All
Yeah.
of them are gonna challenge, and then now with the Mythosaur too, like
Yeah.
who's gonna ride it? All
Right.
that.
They're
Good
setting
stuff.
it up
Yeah.
for a war.
Yeah, that could.
And then
I could see
your
that. Yeah.
champion, like in Avatar 1, when you well, what was it? That flying big bad that he, mind melded with, right? It's gonna happen here. And
Yeah.
calling
And the
it
other thing,
out.
Paz Vizsla is also someone who wants the sword and already challenged him, right? I
Mhm.
think there might be a situation where the Mandalorian takes the bath, he atoned, and then he has to pick whether he wants to go back to his creed or stay with Bo-Katan. I think that might be an issue, or he wants to choose neither of them. I think there might be some kind of way, and I feel like, are they ending the Mandalore story? Like, are there not going to be a season 4? They're going to wrap everything up in a tight little bow? I don't know where else they could go. You don't think so?
Oh no, this can go for a while, man. I expect 6 seasons in a movie.
Well, like, it's going to lead into The Force Awakens, so they can only do so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you need the one movie.
Maybe. I wouldn't mind seeing, Pedro Pascal in a Mandalorian movie. That would be pretty dope.
Right, I mean,
Yeah,
like they
that
did
would-
with Han Solo. Like, why not give one to him?
Yeah. That would be cool.
I feel it's the #1 show on Disney, so it's definitely popular. It's probably the most
Yeah.
popular. So I love it, and kids love it. It's like a money-making machine, man. You know how
Easy.
Absolutely.
Baby Yoda sells out like so crazy. My niece has Baby Yoda stuff. Everybody loves that stuff, man.
Yes.
It's super cool.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, listen, any last thoughts about this episode before we go?
Satine's coming back. Calling it now.
From the
Listen,
dead.
I wouldn't mind a few flashbacks in this season.
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I
I
really
prefer,
wouldn't mind a few flashbacks.
I
'cause-
prefer flashbacks to cameos, in my opinion. I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
cameos take away from the story that's happening, but flashbacks only add to the story that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's gonna be appearances, then obviously if it's gonna be because they're needed in for the story,
Right, to
or
fill in the
because it's
blanks.
gonna connect with something else, and that's different. But I
Yeah.
think flashback because I think we've been wanting something with Satine and something from back
I mean,
then.
it has to be a
and stuff, just
flashback.
little
She's
bit.
dead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That for the flashbacks that would make sense because we're asking
Right.
for just a little bit, just a drop of
Just a little.
Clone Wars.
Yeah. I mean, that would be cool. I mean, they did a little bit of it in Obi-Wan Kenobi when they showed Anakin and Obi-Wan training. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
never know. You never know.
Yep.
And that's gonna be crazy. That's gonna
Yeah.
be really, really good.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. Hey, Benji, what's going on? Benji's in the chat.
Benji, hi.
Woo! All right,
What's up,
you're a
Benji?
little late though. We already recapped the entire episode.
We're actually just about to wrap up.
we already concluded the whole season. Like it's
Yeah,
we
the
already
whole
know
season,
what
you know
everything's
everything
gonna
Spoilers, yeah.
happen.
All right. Well, listen, Dia, thank you so much for being on the show. We really enjoyed having you. You're always our Star Wars expert. We can't wait to have you
Thank you,
back for
guys.
another episode. Also, when Andor comes back, we'll definitely have you on Andor because we
Yes.
love that show.
Ooh.
Ooh, question. Andor, Mandalorian. Ooh, what's your pick? What show do you like the most?
I still have to say Andor.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Mm.
between the two, Andor.
I feel like
But
Andor
it's just they're
too.
two different type of
It's two
stories
different
and
vibes.
tones.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But Andor
You know-
because it was just such a different take on Star Wars, different type of storytelling. It was a fresh look on what Star Wars is. So I enjoyed that very much.
I feel like
from Andor.
The Mandalorian was like a fun ride and everybody enjoyed it, with Andor was like philosophical and it was thought provoking, and it really got you to understand why fascism and authoritarian state is wrong, right? I don't think any of the Star Wars really makes you open your eyes and see that. And the sad thing is, there's a lot of places in this world right now that are like that at the moment, and that kind of opens your eyes a little bit, right? And it's not just like cool gadgets and space, lightsabers. There's some real people in this world in a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away that are actually suffering. And I think that's why I really like
it. Was a lot of commentary discourse with what people live in the real life.
Yeah, the prison system,
prison system, discrimination, immigration, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
War crimes.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Then there's the Ahsoka show that's coming up. There's gonna be a lot of stuff there. Oof, that's gonna be
very, very Star Warsy.
That's gonna be candy. That's gonna be eye candy.
Yeah. Because we know Ezra's coming back. We know
Sabine
is gonna be there. Hera,
oh my god,
Chopper.
They may tie in Sabine in this one, actually. Now that I think
that's
about
what people are speculating too. Yes, you're right. I forgot to. I have forgotten about the people are speculating that Sabine might make an appearance.
Yeah, and that could tie into Ahsoka even better.
And
because they're probably gonna need Mando's help somehow in the Ahsoka show.
Of course. You got to carry that show too.
Yes, of course. You got to carry Grogu in all of these shows.
Also, Sabine used to have the Darksaber.
Yes.
That's even more nuanced to this.
So now Dylan's going to have to learn from two women how to deal with that dark
on International Women's Day. What up?
I love it.
Love it. We love to see it.
Yes.
All right. Tia, tell everybody where they can find you. Let them know how to find you.
All right, guys. So I'm on Twitter and on TikTok as Star Wars Tia, like my name right here. And on Instagram, I am Kari Skywalker.
All right. Thank you, guys. Definitely look her up. She's amazing. She has great takes. She has great videos. She has great tweets. And thank you for coming on our show on International Women's Day. We really, really appreciate you. All right. And until next time, guys, Salaam nerds.
Peace.